Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Investing Analysis. I am very sorry. Today my camera has decided to die on me. So I will not be showing my face today. But without further ado, we just still get into the analysis. Now, very quick disclaimer before we get any further. If you do wish to use my algorithm, the link to the algorithm is in the description but below, where you can sign up and get the algorithm for yourself, apply it to your trading view, and you'll be receiving live signals of everything we have gotten so far. Again, you'll see within the rest of this investing analysis that the indicator has worked absolutely phenomenal. So again, 100% free. And if you're wondering why I do this for free, I'm just showing what I love because I love what I do, and I don't need to make any money off what I do through courses and that. So anyway, without further ado, let's just get into the data analysis and all that kind of jazz. So anyway, starting off with the overview, we'll be going over the signals first, then we're going to be going into the data, macro analysis, going over a few short-term trade ideas, and then ending with the news. So let's get into it. So starting off with Bitcoin and the Axiom algorithm. So we did end up having a sell signal a few days ago, which ended up working really well in our favor. We ended up closing for around about 10% profit, which is really nice. Now, of course, that was, I only shaved off 10% of the portfolio, but we still ended up closing with a large amount of profit on that position. Now, in terms of things forwards, which I will be going over why this will be the case, but I don't think this is going to be the end of the move. And then we're probably going to find like a bottom down here or something. I believe we're probably going to be ending up pushing a tad bit higher. So maybe something like this, where we push up somewhere around here, and then finally we push lower, find a real bottom below here, and then that's when we, fly higher. That's what my opinion is on the current market regime at the moment. But of course, I'll be getting into all of that. So yeah, that's the algorithm for Bitcoin. Take a look at the algorithm for Hyperliquid. It's not really the same thing. We did actually get up a few signals over here. I ended up firing. I did end up taking 25% profit on these signals over here. So overall, the past week I have actually been in a quite decent amount of profit in realized actual profit, which is really nice for me. Now take a look at the broader look of Hyperliquid and kind of more data analysis behind Hyperliquid. If I turn off the algorithm and just turn on a few of these weekly EMAs, you can actually see that Hyperliquid it's in my opinion, it's still in a long-term bullish trend, like 6 to 12 months. But in the medium term, it's not actually looking that great. Such as if you look at the 21 and 50 weekly moving averages, you can actually see that they are still bullish. Main thing to note is we do actually have a 100-week simple moving average beginning to basically spawn in at around 91 days into the future. I believe that is 91 days. Yep, exactly 91 days into the future. So I would basically like to say the market is basically pricing in this 100-week moving average spawning in, which would basically mean price would probably move lower somewhere down here. This is basically where I will be looking to accumulate more. Again, I did only shave off 25% of the position, so I will be looking to accumulate more. But yeah, that's to do with the weekly moving averages. Obviously, we don't have the 100 or 200 weekly moving average even spawned in yet. Take a look at the 50 and 250 daily moving averages. They are still in a bullish trend. I kind of guess we'll want to see how it looks like when we're down here. But for the time being, still in a bullish trend. And then finally, I just have a Fibonacci retracement tool on, which is known as this golden pocket zone, which is here, which is the 0.75 to 0.618 level. This is basically known as like the quote unquote golden pocket, where you basically want to be accumulating the asset within this kind of zone over here. So yeah, that's a bit of the moving averages for Hyperliquid. Taking a look at the RSI of a Hyperliquid on the daily, it's actually kind of bearish, which is not very good to see. I always take note of, with the RSI, I personally use it as a trend indicator. So whenever I basically view it as whenever price is trading above the 50 line over here, it's bullish. Whenever it's trading below it, it's bearish, right? And it's actually worked really well for me. I don't pay attention to just this base RSI line. So obviously within the RSI, you have the base RSI, then you have the RSI based moving average. I prefer to just look at the base moving average as it doesn't give as many false signals. But yeah, at the moment on the daily, it's currently bearish. If you look on a weekly, it is still bullish, which is why I'm saying Hyperliquid in a long-term trend is still bullish, but in the medium term, it's probably very bearish at the moment. And taking a look at the Stoch RSI, looks like it's currently in a bull trend. See what this looks like on a weekly. Yeah, weekly still bearish and no sign of any type of recovery yet from the Stoch RSI. Now, let's basically do the same thing, but for Bitcoin again. So Bitcoin, whacking on the 21, 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. So obviously Bitcoin has defended the 200-week moving average for quite a while now, and it does look like it is it does look like it does want to continue going up higher, which is nice to see. Taking a look at the 100-week moving average, which is over here. Yeah, that is 100. Yeah, what 100-week moving average? Still quite far away. I really don't think we're going to be ended up getting this high. Taking a look at the 50, I think 50 is more likely to be hit, but we'll have to see about that. And then obviously the 21, I think it's very likely that we will probably touch the 21 around this zone at 70,000, which I just explained before. So yeah, that's everything to do with the weekly SMAs. Take a look at the dailies. So 21 and 12 EMA even looks quite bullish at the moment, but it's not like superly bullish. Like it's just holding a bull trend, which is obviously good to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was going to break. And then finally, taking a look at the 50 and 250 day moving average, which are known as a long-term trend indicator. Seems to still be in a bearish trend, and I doubt this will be turning bullish basically anytime soon. So yeah, that's everything to do with Bitcoin in terms of the SMAs and EMA side. Taking a look at more of the data. So taking a look at funding rate, still negative, but it's not by much. If we actually zoom down on a shorter time frame, it does actually look like funding rate is beginning to very slowly come up, which we will actually see, which we will actually look into more of funding rate in a bit more of the data side. Taking a look at ETF flows, still negative. So again, the ETF flows, you want to be using it as a counter trading piece of data. So obviously we're keeping an eye out for this, and they're still having quite a few outflows. USDT, so stablecoin mean reversion indicator, which can be used as a trend indicator, but it's also used as a confluence for my algorithm. It is still in a bullish trend, so this basically works the opposite to everything else. So whenever this is going down, it means it's bullish. Whenever it's going up, it means it's bearish. So we are currently still in a bull trend, but we are getting very, very close to that midline over there. RSI on the daily looks bullish, and on the weekly still looks bearish. So as I said, I am expecting a medium-term trend here. And finally, taking a look at the Stoch RSI on the daily, it looks like it wants to flip very, very soon, but I kind of guess that will be a wait and see type of thing. And then taking a look on the weekly on the Stoch RSI, it is actually beginning to flipping bullish again, but it's still not above that midline, so take that with a grain of salt. So yeah, I believe that's everything to do with all the data side in terms of these. I'm just going to flick through a few coins that I've been taking a look at. So obviously one main one is XMR. I think XMR is a really good play into the future if you do want to take a quite big position on this. Personally, I haven't bought any, but I would like to. Obviously, privacy coins are becoming stronger and stronger, so protecting your money and protecting your privacy will become more and more important. So XMR will probably be a good buy. TON, or also known as Gram, is also another good one. Now, personally, I haven't bought any. I'm waiting for this to at least hold a bullish trend soon, which it does look like we are in a bullish trend, but I don't really trust it, as this was a kind of scam pump that we got over here where it just completely just fucking ripped for a while and then it's just been dead only. So I will be waiting for a more gradual grind up. If we can get at least above the, I believe that's the 21. Yeah, we don't really have a 50 EMA yet. So although I am on a wrong chart here. Here, let me go into a chart that's actually a bit more better. Yeah, here we go. So sorry, let me just remove a bunch of this garbage. Yeah, so taking a look at Gram with all these weekly EMAs, such as 21, 50, 100. Can we get 200? No, we can't. Yeah, so taking a look at these, I believe this is, yeah, this is the 21. So it is kind of holding a bull trend for now, but I kind of guess that'll just be a wait and see. It does look like we are coming close to this Fibonacci golden pocket zone. So probably accumulating ton around these levels is probably a good idea. And then obviously the 50 is over here. And now taking a look at the daily of these, again, it's the same thing as I literally just said. It is in a bull trend, but it's mainly because of this scam pump that we got. So you want to take that with a grain of salt. The main thesis behind TON is basically that it's the coin behind Telegram, and Telegram is obviously the #1 used messaging service in the whole of cryptocurrency. So them onboarding a bunch of users through Telegram it's not the worst idea in the world. So you would probably want to accumulate this coin. I have heard that a lot of people think that TON is basically going to do something very similar to what Solana did back in 23, where it basically went on like a massive run of a, damn, I can't believe that was a 40x, geez. Obviously not like a 40x, I think, because I don't think many people were able to really capture and get in on that position, but I would say more of like at least a 16, 17, 20x on TON, probably. I think that's a lot more likely. So if you're looking for some quite exponential gains without it being in a just overly stupid asset like a meme coin, then probably TON is one you want to take a look at. Hyperliquid, take a look at the news of Hyperliquid. I haven't really seen that much from it, to be honest with you. I don't really think much has really changed with Hype. So yeah, stocks. One I was taking a quite big look at was obviously Take-Two Interactive, because this is the coin behind, not the coin. This is the stock behind GTA 6. So you might want to take a position in this if you do feel like it. I was thinking we were going to get lower down here, but that just never ended up happening. So I just never got the position filled on this trade. But maybe I will into the future. I don't know. Kind of guess we'll just have to wait and see. GME looks about as cooked as it'll ever and forever be. Yeah. Well, I mean, doesn't look awful, but could be better. Coin like Riven is just cooked. Ignore all these lines and drawings. They did mean something to me a while ago. I did actually take a trade on this. I basically bought it. Where did I buy it again? I bought it like here, and then I ended up trading it all the way up here for about a 77% return. But ever since then, it's just been cooked and it just hasn't fucking done anything. So I got out of the position and now I just don't really care about it. So yeah, but in terms of the rest of these stocks, they're all just kind of just fucked. Like especially SpaceX. Like what the fuck is this? Yeah, done. Now take a look at more of the crypto related stocks. So SDRC is holding up now. Obviously, Michael Saylor has been selling a lot to obviously sustain this asset because he wants it pegged at $100, but obviously that's just not happening. I have seen that a lot of people are thinking that STRC or just Michael Saylor in general will be the sacrificial lamb. I don't think he will. I think a lot of people trying to copy him will be, but Michael Saylor himself, I don't really think so. But then again, I could be wrong, and then I'll just get frame mogged for eternity. Anyway, looking at Pure, which is it's basically the same thing as MSTR, which is just a leveraged stock of Hyperliquid. I will be actually looking to probably accumulate this coin. Not this coin, this stock. Fuck me, I've been in crypto for far too long. Probably at lower prices if we do get anything lower. Haven't really made up my mind of where I want to buy it yet, but this is something I am looking at to buy. And finally, the last thing I really want to go over is Pudgy Penguins. So obviously, with the rest of the altcoin market, it's all kind of just cooked at the moment. However, within altcoins, we obviously have the other side to it, which is the NFTs, which I was going to say this to the end of the video, but fuck it, I'm going to go over it now. Where if we look at OpenSea, the majority of these Pudgy Penguins NFTs are actually on quite big sales. So I'm just going to look up little Pudgies because they're a bit more, it's just easier for me. My computer is running at fucking 2 seconds an hour. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, overall Pudgy Penguins or little Pudgies are on a quite big sale at the moment. They've been going down, and if you know anything about NFTs, you should know that the Pudgy Penguin brand, in terms of the whole NFT space, has been the only NFTs that have actually survived through brutal bear markets, right? So if you're looking to pick up any NFTs, I would suggest probably Pudgy Penguins, as they have obviously survived for that long. Or if you're not really feeling the risk of Pudgy Penguins, NFTs, picking up a bit of Pengu would probably be your best bet. I do know I'm trying to accumulate Pengu as we speak, but yeah, I'm still on the side of this. I might pick up a bit, but that's where it goes. But yeah, anyway, that has been things of the signals and algorithm side. Let's just get into the data analysis now. So starting off with Bitcoin analyze, obviously zoom down onto a shorter time. We might see it improve it. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, take a look at CVD in terms of spot versus futures. Very interesting. We are now in a spot leveraged rally, as it's currently saying at the moment. I believe that's spot anyway. Yeah, spot. So yeah, quite interesting. And then take a look at multi CVD. So I actually had a bunch of these on. So these are looking quite interesting. The main ones I really only need to pay attention to are the brown, white, and blue. So the brown are basically like the massive whales that have like 10 million to infinity. And obviously they have been accumulating, but you kind of don't really want to pay that much attention to the brown whales because they are mostly like the OG holders of Bitcoin. They're the ones that control the supply. And they're not really the people you want to be taking advantage of. They're the people you just kind of want to follow. But at the same time, they are obviously manipulating price to anything that they see fit. So you don't really want to be paying that much attention to them. The main ones you want to be paying attention to are the whites and the blues, which look like they have been slightly accumulating within this zone over here, which is quite interesting to see. Like it's been from 13th of July to current date. So that's quite interesting to see that they are probably the ones that are holding up this current trend over here. But yeah, quite interesting to see. That was going to let's take a look at Velo funding and Velo data. So just taking a look at funding rate and open interest, it looks like throughout this current zone over here, we had a bunch of funding coming down, and it looks like we had quite a large amount of shorts opening up here. And as that happened, obviously open interest rose up. So I would like to say that a lot of shorts were opening up throughout here. And then as price increased up, a lot of shorts obviously got squeezed out throughout that move. And probably a few longs probably piled in over here, as you can see with the amount of excessive funding over here. And in my opinion, I think it looks like that they've just been kind of pushed out all their positions. Now it does look like price on shorter time frame is trying to rise up again. I would say if it's going to make any highs, it will need to come above here, but I really doubt that will happen. So at the moment, in terms of looking at this, I mean, open interest is rising, but it still has declined a lot. So I wouldn't really be placing any trades based upon this alone. At the moment, it just looks like a lot of chasing is happening with longs at the moment here. So if anything, I would be wanting to short, which I'll go over in the trade ideas. Now, taking a look at liquidations, this is when it kind of gets very ugly. We have actually seen a lot of liquidations open up at 60k down here now, which if I zoom down onto a shorter frame for you to see, it's really not looking that great, which is why I'm so heavily based upon shorts at the moment for trades. As you can see, that was not here, but last week we were seeing this probably wanting to be taken out, but I think too many people have clocked onto this now, and they're probably wanting to probably take out these liquidations down here. So yeah, if anything, in terms of the medium to short term, I'll definitely say for Bitcoin, it's probably more down. But yeah, that's the liquidations. Now, taking a look at the bids and asks, because this is very interesting. We've had a lot of what's known as spoofing orders, which are basically big whales coming in with large positions, basically placing their positions below price. Other market participants are basically seeing these and being like, oh, okay, let's try and push price lower to get these filled. But the thing is, the moment price is about to fill them in, they ended up just moving the orders and deleting them off the order book, which is a form known as spoofing, otherwise known as market manipulation. So could these levels be hit? Maybe, but at the moment, from what I'm seeing, I think this is just a bunch of spoofing that is happening. But it is obviously something you do want to take notice of and take into account within these spoofing orders, because that is a lot. That's around about 80 million USD. So yeah, take quite good note of that. Take a look at bids and asks and all that kind of lot. So in the future side, a lot of shorts seem to be piling in, and it looks like a bit of spot selling is happening on the order book. again. We did have a bit of spot buying going on, but it wasn't really that much. Again, when it comes to using this data, the main thing you want to look out for is within the spots, like, are we having like a lot of spot buying coming in, like to the fucking $50 million plus mark, right? Because whenever you're seeing something like, I don't know, 19 million or like 8 million, it doesn't really mean anything. When you see these massive orders coming in, like 80 to like 100 mil plus, that is actually very, 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 very impactful for the market. So, those are the type of ones you really want to be paying attention to. But at the moment, yeah, in terms of the spot bids and all that lot, nothing's really coming in. So nothing to really say there. And then finally, taking a look at Max Payne. It's very skewed to one side, but it looks like it's 65k, which is quite interesting to see. Now, take a look at the long-term liquidations. This is where shit gets interesting, right? So, long-term liquidations. It's actually a bit more bullish to the upside, in my opinion, because again, when looking at these liquidations, you want to always be looking out for bell curves, which are just like, it's just like our simple bell looks like, right? And the reason why you want to be paying most attention to them is because that is the path to least resistance, right? Whenever you see nice, easy bell curves, that is basically the market pricing in, okay, we are probably going to want to be increasing to the upside. And the way you can actually tell if like the liquidations are going to be exponential to one side or the other is if the bell curves are very slow and progressive, but they keep on building higher and higher. So I'm not sure if you can see over here, but this is like very gradual from like starting off small to then going big, but then it just shoots absolutely astronomically, just massive over here. Whilst over on this side, it's very slow and gradual small, but then it gradually builds bigger and bigger, and then it kind of dies off here, but then it just slowly and gradually builds bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until it's like really fucking massive over here, right? This is not really what you want to see. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, don't get me wrong. We could probably take out these liquidations around about 85k. But after that, to say that we're going to take out all of this, in my opinion, it's just fallacy. It just won't happen, right? Whilst this is a lot more gradual, it's a lot more easier to be taken out. So I personally think, in terms of the longer term, the upside looks a lot more promising, in my opinion. So yeah, that was long-term liquidations. Taking a look at more on-chain data over here. That's just all of them. So choppiness index is currently coming up, which basically indicates chop, which means the market's just going to consolidate sideways, which is quite interesting to see. So I do actually believe that we will probably consolidate sideways. So excuse me, I just needed a hydration break because I've been talking for way too long. However, what's actually very interesting about the choppiness index is in my last video I said I wasn't too sure if it was going to trend up or down, because the choppiness index indicator, it doesn't tell you which way it's going to trend when it does trend. It just says it's going to trend, right? It just says a trend will happen, right? Which is quite interesting. But as you can actually see, it did actually end up trending in the upwards direction, which I think is actually pretty cool to see. So yeah, that was a choppiness index. I can get rid of that. Open interest versus price change, basically telling us if we are in a spot leverage or a leverage rally, is actually indicating that we are in a spot leverage rally, which is really nice to see. Take a look at more funding rates, but this one's more on a adjusted basis. We can actually see that it has actually been coming up a lot, basically indicating that a lot of longs are probably piling in to this market, which is not really the best you really want to see. Short-term holder MVRV momentum indicator is actually indicating that we do have positive momentum in the market, which is really nice to see. Net realized profit and loss, obviously a lot of people are currently in profit, which is it's okay to see. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, everyone's allowed to be in profit. Everyone's allowed to be in loss. But obviously, if you're looking to buy bottoms, you do want to see it in the loss kind of area. And then finally, short-term holder MVRV indicator, getting very, very close to this midline over here, which if you remember back in May, when we did actually come above this midline, where things did look looked like it was going into a very positive trend, it ended up just squeezing price lower again. So yeah, great to see that. But I do think I think we will probably repeat the same thing, where we'll probably touch it again, but then just end up going lower to really fill those final liquidations under current price around about the 52k mark. Now, take a look at more realized profit and loss. Again, we're in profit again, so we'll probably suspect price to kind of just fuck around here, to be honest. Take a look at, check on more crypto quant. So main things I want to take a look at is the USDT market percent change. We can actually see this is very slowly curving back up. Like, you really have to squint your eyes, but it is very, very slowly creeping itself back up, which is really good to see and what you actually want to see for a trending market. And the only really other one I really want to take a note of is the long-term holder position change. If smart money is accumulating or distributing, and as you can actually see, they are still accumulating, which is again amazing to see. So yeah, now finally ending off with the data with Hyperdash. It does actually look like that the majority of the market is bullish, whilst these guys are just very slightly bearish. So in my opinion, this is actually the market pricing in that we are going to trend higher for now. Because again, like, when we have these long-term trending markets upwards, it's not a thing where like these guys have to be bearish and these guys have to be like bullish. Like we can trend up when all these guys are all bullish and in confluence. But yeah, I think as soon as these guys turn bullish, we will probably see the market trending up a lot higher. And again, like, they're getting slightly less bearish on Hyperliquid, which is good to see. They're a bit bearish on Ethereum, which is fair enough, and a bit bearish on Bitcoin, whilst they remain bullish on the S&P, on the stock market, which is really interesting to see. Obviously went over that. Now, taking a look at a few coins that I'm thinking of accumulating more. So this is one called P. I don't really know much about it, but I've just heard it's good. If anyone knows anything about it, then just let me know, because this is definitely a coin I want to be looking into. Now, that's everything to do with the data analysis. Now we'll probably jump into the macro now. So taking a look at the macro from here, on FedNet liquidity, it's been kind of a bit hard for me at the moment to be identifying like where exactly we are on this chart, because personally I think we are like here, right, where we'll probably suspect price to probably push up a bit further, which would lead me within my thesis that we would probably hit 70k here. But if this will be the case or not, I'm not too sure, because I'll be honest with you, like that's where I do want to say, because I'm using a 90-day lag. But again, it could not be the case, but that is all just a work in progress, and I kind of guess we'll just have to wait to see. This other indicator that I found by this guy called Daprof, it seems to be a leading indicator for Bitcoin's price, which, to be fair, I was looking through the backtest of it. It seems to have worked very, very well, to be fair with him. So yeah, I think probably we could see this play out where we will probably grind down for a bit lower and then push higher. But yeah, that's that's just everything. That's everything to do with global liquidity and FedNet. Obviously, we have M2, but I don't really pay attention to that anymore. Now, in terms of other like macro stuff, we do have FMOC this week, I believe. Yep, FMOC. So that is on the 29th of July. So I will be looking to take a few trades around here. I am thinking that we will probably push price lower into FMOC, and then the Fed will just do the Fed type of thing, and then we could see how that evolves. Obviously, this is on the trading chart, which I'll get over the trade ideas and all these ideas very, very soon. But yeah, I will be looking out for FMOC and seeing how that evolves around here, because we could basically see on FMOC something like this actual push happening, which would be kind of upsetting for me if that was to happen, because I'm currently the majority out of the market. But hey, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that's really it for the rest of the macro analysis. Really, there's not really much more to go over other than in terms of macro within correlation to Bitcoin, I am expecting higher prices. Now, let's get into the... Oh, no, actually, sorry. There is a bit more to the macro. Take a look at the bond yields, right? So this is actually very, very important. The bonds are looking absolutely fucking dog shit. So if you are wanting to buy a house anytime soon, yeah, cooked, mate. Just don't even bother, in my opinion. just don't bother buying a house yet. It's just awful, right? Like you're paying 5% yields over 30 years. It's just fucking awful. I do believe that these will probably come down very, very soon. Well, not very soon. I would say in the next 2 years or so. But if you're wanting to buy a house wherever you live, if it's in the US, America, or the rest of Europe, or even Japan, I would probably just wait for this to drop by a significant amount until you want to go and buy a house on a 30-year mortgage or whatever else. So yeah, it looks cooked. Obviously, I do believe Fed Chair Walsh for the US will probably be doing some sort of monetary tightening to try and defend this bond market. But yeah, for the time being, bond market doesn't look the best. So yeah, now that's everything to do with the macro side. Now let's move into everything to do with trades. So yeah, so let me run you through my thought process. So obviously we have a few major key levels over here. So we have the weekly 2021 support resistance top, which I'll zoom out for you now for this. No. So yeah, 2021. I believe, yeah, on the weekly. So zoom that out to the weekly. So you obviously have these major levels over here, which I'm paying attention to and watching, which is currently above where price is at the moment. And then we have a few support and resistance on the monthly, basically below here. So if I zoom out to the monthly, whoops. Yeah, you can basically see that we do have support and resistance on the monthly over here. So to mix with the liquidation maps, the bids and asks and all that kind of lot, I would basically say that your best areas for best risk to rewards are basically anything that involves, I'll basically say anything that involves here and here. Those are your best risk to rewards type of zones. I would say any trades that involve here, you can definitely take them, but understand that they're probably not going to be in your best favor. But anything above here and below here is just perfect. Perfect trades to take. Now, obviously, I've drawn out 3 paths. So from here, I either think we're going to push down into FMOC, touch this monthly support and resistance, Then following this red line, we just fucking don't do anything, and we just nuke down to 0 and take out those liquidations below price, which I think is unlikely. Then we have the blue path, which I believe is probably the more likely path, where we'll probably come down, touch this support and resistance, where from here we'll go into FMOC, come out of it, we'll probably touch this support and resistance, and then from there we'll either continue carry on going down, or I didn't actually draw it, but we might continue. We might actually just flip this and just go up like that, but again, we'll just have to wait and see for that. And then finally, we have the red path over here, which again, just come up here, take out this support resistance, and then go lower. Now, if you notice with all of these, I do actually make it clear that I do believe within all of these trades, it will lead to one final push lower, down below price around about the 55k to 48,000. This is basically your zone where you want to accumulate Bitcoin like there's no tomorrow. Like literally buy as much Bitcoin as you can throughout this zone over here, because I do believe this will be the bottom-ish where you will want to buy as much spot as you can. But in terms of trades, you can obviously, trade these shorts over here and then take profit down into these lows over here. But yeah, guys, that's basically it in terms of everything, I believe. There's not really much more data I want to really go over. One thing I didn't really mention was obviously where the Bitcoin fair value rests at 92,000. So, but if we will touch this 92k or not is completely unknown in my opinion. I think 70k is likely. I think 90k is very unlikely, but again, we'll just wait and see. Time will tell into the future. But yeah, guys, anyway, that's everything to do with in terms of investing analysis. I will be back tomorrow. In terms of how many times a week I will do investing and analysis, it will be just as much as I can, right? I'm a very busy person in terms of the market and in terms of everything else. But yeah, that's really all for now, guys. But yeah, I will see you all in my next video. So see you all soon, guys, in a bit.